Tonight we report on what caused a 911 outage in Wilson Creek, and a Moses Lake man gets 3 years in prison on his 15th felony conviction. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Thanks, Alan. Quincy wrestlers turn back Sela, and Wharton basketball picks up wins over Soap Lake. Let's take a peek at our Weather Center forecast.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Dragon Nation's patchy fog expected to develop overnight tonight. Precipitation in the forecast. All the details in just a few moments.
I'm Alan Troop, and we have all this and much more on iFiber One News.
From the iFiber One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFiber One News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFiber One News, and it starts now.
Rodents chewing through a fiber optic cable caused Wilson Creek to lose 911 service. CenturyLink reported 222 lines coming out of the town were affected by the outage on Monday night and Tuesday. According to the Multi-Agency Communications Center, they don't know how many 911 calls were affected by the outage. They will review how the interruption impacted service after it was repaired. People could use cell phones to call 911 for emergencies in Wilson Creek. Microsoft's new data center in Quincy is set to be completed later this year. Reporter Jeff Chu has an update on the progress.
The walls are up on Microsoft's new data center on 200 acres in Quincy. Port of Quincy officials say when completed this year, Microsoft's campuses in Quincy will be one of the largest data centers in the world. Microsoft's data center addition could be as large as 1 million square feet, according to port officials. Microsoft purchased the land last year from the Port of Quincy for $11 million. Port officials say it could bring Microsoft's workforce in Quincy to at least 400. Microsoft came to Quincy in 2006 and built an original data center of about 500,000 square feet on 75 acres. The new data center is located east of the existing location. The new data center will allow Microsoft to further expand its cloud technology. Cloud technology allows computer users to pull stored data on other servers such as Microsoft's. Quincy has 5 other massive data centers intermingled with farmland. Yahoo, Dell, Intuit, Saby, and Vantage all have facilities in Quincy. Inexpensive Grant County Public Utility District hydroelectric power and high-speed fiber optic connectivity have attracted the data centers to Quincy. I'm Jeff Chu for iFiber One News.
A Moses Lake man is serving nearly 3 years in prison after stealing a car and fleeing police through a school zone. Jeremy Gilbert, a 27-year-old man, pleaded guilty to attempting to elude a pursuing police vehicle and endangering people during the chase. Prosecutors agreed to drop charges of robbery and theft of a motor vehicle. Gilbert has 14 previous felony convictions dating back to 2004 and was sentenced to 2 years and 11 months in prison, nearly the minimum sentence. After a white Nissan was stopped by Moses Lake police, Gilbert pushed the driver out of the car and fled police at speeds up to 80 miles an hour, passing a bus in the Peninsula Elementary School zone. He escaped capture but was found a few days later and arrested. People posing as the IRS continue to call people in Grant County. The latest complaint to police was in Ephrata. A woman reported to police she received a call from someone claiming she owed back taxes and she needed to call back to another phone number. According to Ephrata police, the woman hung up and called police. Law enforcement agencies recommend avoiding doing any business with a stranger calling your home. They suggest you avoid providing any information and ask for a phone number to call them back. Anyone suspecting to have received a scam phone call can contact their law enforcement. The Lioness Club of Moses Lake helped the Grant County Animal Shelter with a donation of supplies. The club contributed bedding, canned and dried dog food, and cat food, as well as cleaning and medical supplies. The weight of the food alone was over 200 pounds. Lioness Club member Frog McMains said that most of the members are pet owners and love giving back to organizations. The shelter is often in need of supplies and reached out to the Lioness Club for help, according to a spokesperson. The Grant County Animal Outreach currently has dogs and cats available for adoption. For more information, visit them online or call 509-762-9616. And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be back right after this.
At Moses Lake Community Health Center, we have had the privilege to serve the local communities since 1978.
What I like about working at this clinic more than any other clinic that I've worked at is the patient care. With the patient care team that we've assembled, it allows us to take care of as many facets of the patient and their family's needs.
Please take the opportunity to experience the high-quality care provided at our clinics.
When you find out about the DQ $5 lunch, all this food for only $5, you gotta tell people about it. So I situated nice. Frosty drink next to this juicy grilled burger and fries. Get my sundae, boom. I just dropped a $5 lunchagram on all my friends. Get ready for a little $5 envy.
Michael, we like your style. The $5 lunch. Entree, fries, drink, plus a sundae. Only at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
Good to be with you, everybody. I'm Ceci Gutierrez with your local weather report from the One News Weather Center. And it is brought to you by your Bud Clary Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Let's begin with a quick look at your headlines across the region. A quiet forecast. We do have a little bit of an unsettled scenario as we head into the weekend. But in the meantime, patchy fog overnight, and this is thanks to the influence of a high pressure system causing this fog to develop, and also low cloud cover across the region. We do also anticipate a weak shot of Arctic air to trigger us back to normal temperatures, and that series of upper level disturbances promising to bring a slight chance of precipitation in the form of snow and even some mixed precipitation as we head into the weekend and early next week. Temperatures topped out this afternoon in Ephrata around 39, and the normal should be around 33. The sun setting at around 4:25 p.m. Across Moses Lake, the temperature maxing out at 39 and the low 29. The sunset 4:24. Conditions right outside your door, mostly cloudy skies, readings in the mid to lower 30s with a wind very light, 3 miles per hour out of the north. Dry conditions overall, and as we head into the overnight hours, we're expecting for that patchy fog to develop. Overall dry conditions, even well into inland northwest. Now, as we head into Thursday, we could be seeing some scattered snow showers along western portions of Montana across inland northwest. And then we notice this system approaching the coastline in the form of rain and cloud cover increasing considerably, but clearing up. And then as we head into Saturday, that precipitation inching closer to our immediate region. Here's a quick look across the entire area. Yakima with readings around the mid to lower 40s, and to the northeast across Ponderay in the mid 30s. Tri-Cities area, a similar temperature in and around the 36-degree mark. Taking a closer look across the basin, we are anticipating for partly to mostly cloudy skies, and these temperatures expected to top out in the mid to upper 30s. Lower 30s should be the normal high. Here's a quick look once again on weekend snow, and Monday we could be seeing a slight chance of mixed precipitation. Temperatures hanging in there around the mid to lower 30s. Overall, pretty quiet scenario, with the exception of that activity approaching the region by the weekend and into early next week. Notice mostly cloudy skies and those temperatures around the mid to upper 30s. Segment brought to you by your Bud Clary Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. We'll be right back with sports.
You don't need me to tell you that 4 and all-wheel drive time is on its way. But maybe you didn't know your local Toyota dealers are gearing up for the season with special savings on our top-selling 4 and all-wheel drive models. From tough Tundra trucks to our best-selling CUV RAV4 or Venza, the perfect blend of all-wheel drive with safety and style. Plus many others. The bottom line is exceptional 4 or all-wheel drive savings just in time for winter. For full details on these and other savings, visit any of your Inland Empire Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Bud Clary Ford Honda is proud to be an automotive leader in our area. Since opening our doors over 54 years ago, we have kept a firm commitment to our customers. We offer a wide selection of vehicles and hope to make the car buying experience as quick and hassle-free as possible. You can trust that we will get you into the car or truck of your dreams. Bud Cleary has an experienced and reliable service and parts department that is open extra hours to help fit our customers' hectic schedules. Come for a test drive today at 1200 South Pioneer Way. We are a proud supporter of Columbia Basin Athletics.
The Quincy Jacks turned in a strong performance against the Selah Vikings in CWAC wrestling action last night. Reporter Sean Wells has the story.
It was a big night for Quincy Wrestling, taking on a top-ranked Selah team. The Jacks took 4 of their first 5 matches to take a 21-4 lead. Cade Wallace, Sammy Rodriguez, Victor Salgado, and Itchy Ramirez all recorded pins for Quincy. Wrestling at 145 pounds, Ricardo Estrada pulled out a nice last-minute win for Quincy over Selah's Jaime Garcia. The Jacks won 9 of 14 matches, knocking off Selah 42-26. The win puts the Jacks at 3-0 in CWAC play, tied for first with Ephrata and Toppenish. For iFiber One News, Sean Wells.
The Soap Lake Eagles opened up Central Washington Conference play against Warden last night.
Brenna Whitney drained 20 points, Shania Kistler added 18, and Warden held off a late rally to beat Soap Lake 50-46. It was a back-and-forth contest that had the Cougars up 25-18 at the break. The Eagles, who have struggled to stay in ball games this season, opened second-half play with a 16-9 run to even the score at 34-all. Soap Lake, refusing to yield, went up top 44-41 with just over 3 minutes to go. A couple of costly turnovers allowed the Cougars to regain the lead 47-41 with 2 minutes left. With time winding down, the Lady Eagles were forced to foul. The Cougars converted at the charity stripe, and Warden pulled out the win. Caleb Hardman scored a career-high 15 points to lead the Cougars to a 46-43 win in the second game of the evening. It was a low-scoring first half that had Warden up 22-17 as both teams struggled to find the hoop. The Cougars heated up to start the second half of play, laying 23rd quarter points on the Eagles. Soap Lake answered back with a 16-4 fourth quarter run to make things interesting, but fell short in its comeback bid. Nick Capallo and Danny Delgado led the Eagles with 12 points each.
Well, I've repped a lot of high school basketball games over the years, and I thought I'd seen everything until this video of an Oak Harbor, Washington middle school game went viral on YouTube. As you can see, the referee is not only have bad mechanics out there, but he's talking on the cell phone. I can't believe they'd even let him on the court to do that. I don't even know how he would make a call without a whistle in his mouth. So the boys out there certainly deserved a little bit better officiating, but man, that sure beats all. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Kono. I am your local Ephrata Farmers Insurance Agent. Here at Cheryl Kono Insurance Agency, our customers always come first. We don't just work here, we live here. Please stop by the office, call, email, or Facebook me for a free auto, home, life, business, or farm and ranch quote today. We are insurance. We are farmers. Come in for a free quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum. Well, one thing I knew from being a patient myself was that a dental office is a scary place to come to. And so we wanted everything possible to make sure that our office is a comfortable place for our patients to visit. The patients that I have, my clients, have made me a part of this community, and we want to give back in every way possible.
Our spotlight story tonight is about a growing winery in Quincy. Reporter Jeff Chu met up with the winery's owner and has the story.
Quincy-raised Megan Couture is a small but glowing example of Washington's robust wine industry. She started her winery, Errant Cellars, about 2 years ago in a 288-square-foot space in Quincy. Today, Couture's Errant Cellars can be found inside a 3,200-square-foot warehouse she, with the help of family and friends, remodeled. The winery recently opened at 15 B Street Southeast in Quincy. Her start in the wine industry can be traced back a few years to Pete Beaumont, founder of Beaumont Cellars in Quincy.
And after a couple of years working with Pete, he said, hey, why don't you make a barrel? And the barrel turned into a winery.
Couture recalled how it all began.
I started going to the Grape, which was a wine bar here in town. It was owned by my friend Ron Stadig, who passed away a couple of years ago. And through Ron, I met Pete Beaumont of Beaumont Cellars. And Pete was just starting out, and I had a lot of free time because I was here. And so I said, hey, I'd love to learn if you need a hand, and he did. So I started working with Pete, and I worked for them for, well, up until a little bit here and there still.
For the past 2.5 years, Couture has had a full-time day job at the office of Blake All Packing, a potato packing plant nearby. Couture says that makes things pretty challenging during potato harvest, much of which coincides with grape crushing for her next vintage.
It gets a little bit nuts because we're in harvest there, and I'm crazy busy here, and so it gets a little bit busy, but so far it's worked.
She buys much of her grapes from Columbia Basin vineyards.
I buy them from a variety of sources. Right now I'm pretty well set. I buy them from Sunnyside and Mattawa, down by the Horsehaven Hills. Last year I got some from Chelan. I didn't this year for no particular reason. I found other sources from this area, the Ancient Lakes, and then out on the Royal Slope.
Megan Couture is the sole employee at the winery with a little help from her retired father, John Couture, her mother, Linda, and friends.
It's all me. I'm the owner, the winemaker, the cellar assistant, the bookkeeper, the sales manager, but I have a great family and a lot of wonderful friends that are, here with me late at night during crush.
The winery's production has gone from 32 cases 2 years ago to 200 in 2014. Her passion for the winery is constant, and Couture says she plans to keep it running as long as she can.
Making wine is such a fun mix of art and science, and I love that about it because those are both passions of mine, always have been, and so I get a little bit of both, and it's never boring. There's always, owning a winery, there's always something to do.
See Errant Cellars' website at errantcellars.com. I'm Jeff Chu for iFiber One News.
We'll be right back after this.
Are your kids rough on your furniture? Things looking a little run down? Then come to More Furniture in Ephrata and we can help get things back in order. We have all the top name brands made with strong quality support, including Sealy Posturepedic mattresses, because whatever you do in bed, Sealy supports it. The next time your furniture is in need of some replacing, stop into More Furniture in Ephrata, locally owned and trusted for over 100 years.
Attention business owners. The deadline is fast approaching to advertise in the 2015 edition of the Moses Lake Local Book. Don't be the only business left out. In print or online, it's the best way to reach your customer when they're ready to buy. Call today to place your ad by calling 877-738-9829 or by visiting us online at www.statewideyp.com. The Moses Lake Local Book Telephone Directory. Simply the best advertising.
Welcome back. A Moses Lake man is going to prison for a little more than a year after fleeing police in a stolen pickup truck in October. Daniel Charpentier, a 28-year-old man, pleaded guilty in Grant County Superior Court to theft of a motor vehicle, attempting to elude a pursuing police vehicle, and theft in the third degree. Charpentier has 5 felony convictions, including possession of a stolen vehicle in 2012, bail jumping, fleeing police in 2010, and vehicular assault in 2002. A plea bargain led to a sentence of 1 year and 1 month in prison, along with drug treatment. A police officer spotted Charpentier driving a stolen pickup truck on State Route 17 in Moses Lake, and when the officer signaled the man to stop, he fled. Charpentier fled behind a series of East Broadway Avenue businesses and abandoned the truck. Officers surrounded the area and found Charpentier. State auditors did not find any problems during their audit of Coulee City. The Washington State Auditor's Office recently released its 2012 and 2013 audit report for the town. The state auditors conduct regular audits of government agencies looking at compliance with state and federal laws. The auditors looked at the town's utility billing, the delinquent accounts, the use of tourism funds, and potential conflicts of interest. In Northwest News, it's not something you would expect. You're driving your car and then all of a sudden the road sinks underneath you. That's what happened in Kelso to a man on his way to work. Chris Holmstrom has the story.
Just driving along, all of a sudden, boom.
You're looking at John Kingle's car after it was eaten up by a sinkhole.
I'd probably driven 15 feet from the time I pulled out of the driveway onto the street.
His work car completely stuck.
The car just crashed down. I figured that the axle had broken because the car shifted like that. And I thought, God, what's going on? Got out of the car and there was a sinkhole halfway back between the front and the back tire.
But surprisingly, only minor damages to the car. The sinkhole, a different story. In fact, as the day went on, I learned it grew up to 13 feet deep. I asked city crews what caused it, and they tell me it was a sewer main break. And since the groundwater was so high from the recent rain, it made it tough to get to the damaged line. As for John, he tells me he's just thankful that nobody was hurt. He's also thankful he was only driving about 5 miles per hour.
I was just really thankful that, it could have been a lot worse. If it had been driving at 25 miles an hour, regular speed limit, who knows what would have happened.
A 911 dispatcher trainee thought outside of the box and used social media to locate a hiker who had been critically injured in a 150-foot fall. The hiker was rescued just before sunset.
HP Sacramento received a 911 from an 11-year-old advising he was rappelling with his father. The father fell and hit his head. He has a wound.
Dispatchers got that frantic call from young Jake, but it cut off before he could tell them where his father fell.
We're both working vigorously on trying to find out who this person is, where this person's at, especially when we don't have a definite location.
The only clue dispatchers had was where the call connected with a cell phone tower near Vacaville, more than 30 miles away from where Jake and his dad, Ryan Pritchard, were actually hiking, along the Blue Ridge Loop Trail near Lake Berryessa.
It can ping off different towers, and several different agencies can get that 911 call even if it's out of their jurisdiction.
Dispatchers were hitting a dead end and time was of the essence. That's when a trainee, Brianna Martinez, who's only been on the job for 3 weeks, tried to help.
I decided to search myself since they were busy. So I plugged the name into Google and his LinkedIn account came up. So I was able to get a picture and know that he was from Sacramento.
Using his name and image, Martinez made a match on Facebook.
I scrolled down and the very first post was a picture of his 2 sons, and behind them was the Lake Berryessa, and it just said hiking the Blue Ridge Trail today.
Post that shows they're possibly rappelling at Blue Ridge Loop Trail. We're routing fire that direction.
As soon as we saw that picture, it made sense.
Help arrived and airlifted Pritchard out of the canyon just before sunset. A close call for an injured hiker saved by social media.
It made a definite difference, I believe, in the outcome of the call, and so it was excellent.
Being in law enforcement 31 years, I don't know that I would have thought of that.
And that's going to do it for us here at I-501 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.